Good evening, America, and good afternoon, Australia. You're back on Radio Toni Every Day Business with Christine Stow. And this is Christine's last show. And I'm a little bit sad about that because Christine comes on the show every week full of energy and inspiration. And she makes my Monday afternoons, and I hope that she makes yours. Now, just a reminder that you are listening, if you're listening live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, Heyo is listening in the background to help you with any questions you might have, and make sure you have the links and emails to Christine and myself should you need them. Now, we've been talking to Christine for the last 3 weeks, and you know by now that she is a speaker, author, and community consultant. And she has had an amazing life. And since the diagnosis of her daughter at 3 months of age with a genetic disorder, she's had to reinvent herself. She's been elected to council, she's written a story, completed an MBA, established support programs, and a special school. She's gone from lab tech to sales to carer to counsellor, and now she is absolutely passionate about speaking to women to help them find their passion and uncover their purpose and turn it into business gold. She is a supportive woman herself. And so today we're going to delve into Christine's new programs. So, good afternoon, Christine, and welcome back to the show.
Hi, Tony. Yes, it is. I've really enjoyed this. I've loved coming on here Mondays and bringing my inspiration, but also love chatting to you. So I don't think this will be the last time. Might be just the last for a little while.
Fantastic. Well, you all know that I am absolutely passionate about live streaming media and its ability to connect with people and connect businesses to their tribe. It's never more important to be connected to the people that resonate with you. And just because you don't resonate with someone doesn't mean you can't find the person that you do resonate with. And both Christine and I passionately advocate for you connecting to the right coach, the right teacher, the right mentor. Now, Christine, we've talked about a whole range of things across this series of shows. In particular, we've talked about the transference of skills and how women who might be re entering the workforce recognize the amazing skills that they have from being a wife, mother, to being a carer. There are all skills within those roles that can be taken forth into normal 9 to 5 jobs. Now, Christine has written a program called Grants Made Easy, but this week we want to tap into her newest program called Ignite Your Passion. Sorry. Now, before we get into that, I want to give you a definition of passion and the word ignite. So the definition of passion is it's an adjective, it's a having, doing word. So being compelled by or ruled by intense emotion and strong feelings, a passionate advocate of socialism. It's an intense word, it's a vehement word, it's an emotional word. And when Christine talks about igniting your passion, it means she wants to arouse, inflame even more passion because passion drives our purpose. So, Christine, to start the show off, what does igniting your passion mean to you?
So it came from Grants Made Easy, where I was helping women to find grants to find money, and they all had a passion. They all had a burning desire and projects that they would help so many people if they got off the ground, if they could
Yes,
map out the steps to get there, to actually get that passion and make it into something real, make it into a project. So that's where I
yes,
saw the passion in the women, and I wanted to tap into their passion and actually help them to map it out and get it off the ground. So that's where Ignite Your Passion came from. How can I help them really bring that out and put it on the table and ignite it so that it's not just a burning project in the background or lying around in pieces on the floor that actually
Yeah.
get it going. So I had, women helping others with in domestic violence situations. There was another one that was working on an indigenous kitchen, using indigenous foods. So really beautiful
Yeah.
projects, but they didn't have any idea how to get them going. So I want to help all of those women that have special projects to make them real.
And Christine, they don't have to be big, world shatteringly monstrous passions. They can be little, quiet passions that mean the world to that individual woman,
Yeah,
don't
so
they?
well, that's the other thing that I say is that you don't have to build a skyscraper. Start with small steps, because
Yeah.
once you build the small steps, then it grows. And if you're just taking that, little step forward, then you're helping someone. You're helping, even if it's just one person you've made a difference in their life to. But the chances are, once you get it out there, other people, once other people hear about
Yes.
it, they'll want to do it as well. You're not the if you've
And
got that
then
desire, if you see that need, then chances are there's lots of other people that need it as well.
which makes it even more exciting if there's women out there listening and there's something ticking away in the back of their brain. Oh, I'd so like to do X.
Yeah.
What Christine does is help take X from an idea in the back of your brain that's been sitting there going, I really need some attention. Christine helps you take that idea and make it a reality. And so I've had this discussion a lot lately. The thought, and it's about thoughts. Everything begins with a thought in your mind. So that grand thing or small thing that you're passionate about that is just a thought, that's where it all starts.
That's right.
Another woman I interviewed recently uses the analogy of a chair. Before we had chairs, there were no chairs. So a chair came from a thought in someone's mind. The thought became perhaps a drawing on a chalkboard or a scribble in the earth. The point is, it all started with the thought in someone's brain, and they've taken it and created something in reality. And that's what Christine's all about. Christine, you love to talk to women and find out what they're passionate about, don't you?
So yeah, what their sweet spot is, and when you talk about, something was a thought in somebody's mind before it becomes reality. My mentors have said, everything is created twice. It's created in your
Yes.
mind, and then it's created in reality. And I really love that meme that I've seen where somebody says, "Oh, you think that your idea is not good enough, but around there's somebody out
Yes.
that created the pool noodle who's a multi-millionaire now. The pool noodle. Who would have thought?"
That,
Now we
yes.
take it for granted. So it might be that your idea or your passion, and look, every single one of them, that every single person that I've spoken to has a fantastic idea, but then they're held back by
Yes.
fear, or I can't do it, I'm not good enough. So I want to help them to get over those things and show them that it is possible. I mean, who would have thought for me, a 24/7 carer, it would be possible to
Yes.
win a council election and get elected? If I can do that, then it's possible for you to get your project off the ground.
Absolutely. Christine, where does passion come from, do you think?
Where does my passion come from? Or where does
Yeah,
people?
where does your passion come from? And where does other people's passion come from?
So my passion comes from the energy I get from seeing people light up when you've mapped out their project. So it's really uplifting, and I get a
Yes.
fuzzy feeling, a warm feeling in my belly, the same as they must. When they've got this project,
Yes.
they see a need. They might even be angry. They might even be ranty about it, but they see a need.
Yeah.
And if there's a need that they see, then there's a way to actually make it happen. So if they
Yeah.
believe in their mind that it's possible, but yeah, once once you map it out, then it becomes real. Because what I found
Yeah.
is, once you put form and function around it, once you know put it into a proposal,
Yes.
it comes to life. Whether you believe in energy, the universe, God, whatever it
Yes.
is, once you worked for me 100%. Every time I put, a proposal together, I've made it happen.
Yes,
I've made it come to life. So if I can do that, then I can do it for you. I can do it for your listeners.
absolutely. Absolutely. And often that passion comes from solving a problem of some sort that
Yeah.
has been probably a problem for ages, but no one's ever gone, I can solve that. And there's lots and lots of women out there who, by virtue of women are creative beings. And that's not to say that men aren't creative as well, but women are particularly good at creativity. We create new human beings in our bodies subconsciously. So we are hardwired to create. And so for women to be able to tap into that creativity and create purpose around what they want to do, it's amazing for everyone. And it's good for the world at large, for women to know their passion and what the purpose of being gifted with that passion. And I do believe, Christine, that it is a gift. If you've got some thought in your mind that you are passionate about, that's a gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a gift. And I should say that I don't think it's just unique to women. I think that men, and I'm
No.
happy to
Yep.
work with men, and I'm happy to talk with men as well. I think women often we hold ourselves back more, whereas men go out there. But
Yes.
let's not forget that our men also create skyscrapers, trucks and
Yes.
cars, bridges. So
Houses.
men are creative too. So happy to work with them. But I think in general, what I've seen is people, men and women, have a passion but don't know how to take the steps to get there. There are some people,
Yeah.
engineers and so on, who build those bridges,
Yes.
who already know that. But all of the people that I've spoken to have a passion, but they don't know the steps to get there. So I want to help them take those, at least the first steps, put form and function around it to bring it to life. Because,
Yeah.
like we've just said, if there's a problem out there that you're seeing, chances are that it helps so many other people. So really, like
Absolutely.
Marianne Williamson says, who are you to play small? Like it's on you to
Mhm.
bring your passion, to bring your gift, because somebody needs it out there. And really, you're being selfish if you don't. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I know the first time I heard those words wrapped in that way, I'm like, oh, really? Oh, really? Because back 2 years ago, I lived very small and I had a lot of fear about showing up. And I can tell you, once you get over yourself, it's magical and you cease to be held back by things that held you back before, and you cease to see the fear that kept you small and quiet. And for a lot of women, that's a powerful thing to unleash. And what Christine and I want to bring home today is that there's a purpose behind that passion. And Christine, I want to talk a little bit today about the advantages of knowing what your purpose is and how you bring that to life in women.
So it's about uncovering what they're passionate about. It's about uncovering that sweet spot. So the thing that they're
Mm.
passionate about, and how do you put it into a proposal? And when you
Yes,
get that sweet spot, it's just like explosive, because when it's a sweet spot, you've got the purpose and the budget, and you've got people that want to use it. There's that piece in the middle that once you've identified that, people are attracted to you. Like you feel,
yes,
oh my God, I'm, connected to my purpose. Like when I was elected to council, I was like, oh, this is
yes,
great. I'm here making action, making things happen, dealing with $1 billion budget. And people are, recognizing, acknowledging me. And that's what I want to bring to people with their
yes,
gift. Identify that gift.
yes,
How do you put it into writing? How do you map it out and make it happen? I've been able to do this with a special school, cafe for people with disabilities.
yes,
These projects that people want to get off the ground are so doable because they're so needed.
yep,
So, how do I help them do that? Help them by identifying and mapping out a pathway. I'm excited just to think about the projects and about who I can
I
help.
know. Because and the thing is that for our listeners, Christine has done this again and again and again. So she knows what she's talking about. And for people that are listening and thinking, "Oh my God, I could never do that." Well, you don't have to do it alone, because we'll be talking a little bit later about Christine's newest program, and she will help you every step of the way because she's done it before in small projects, big projects, medium-sized projects. She's done it. So you don't have to do it by yourself anymore. And so I want to talk about the steps that you've got within igniting your passion, the course that you're releasing very shortly, Christine.
Yeah, so the group program starts on February the 1st, so that's next Monday night, 8 p.m. Melbourne Australian time. So the first step is your lenses. So that's about mapping
Yes.
out. That's about where are you at now and where do you want to get to? Because if you don't know where you want to get to, how do you know the steps that you need to take? It's like having a
Yeah.
map to drive from Melbourne to Queensland, or is it Los
Yeah.
Angeles, New York? If you don't
Yeah.
know where you're gonna Yep. If you don't know where you're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
end up, then you don't know which road to take. And people often say,
Mhm.
well, how do I know what it's going to look like when I get there? Well, you have to have some kind of idea. You have to have some kind of idea
Yes.
what it looks like. You've had the idea, you've had it in your mind's eye. So then how do you put it into writing? So that's what lenses are all about. It's all about, when you look out into the horizon, we call them lenses because you're looking into the
Yeah.
horizon like a pirate to see
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you're going to get to, and we keep going towards that outcome. And if you get a little bit off track, then we can readjust. And then the second step is your values. So it's your values and who you want to work with. So if it's a not-for-profit, then are you working with, I don't know, domestic violence victims? Are you working with domestic violence victims to help them get out of their home? Or are you working with them to map out a new pathway? So aligning your values with what you want to do and making sure, because if you're not aligned with your values, it's like having a sand in your shoes. Just rubs
Yeah.
and rubs, and that's when you become tired, stressed, and you can't sustain it. And week 3, we're going to
Christine, oh, sorry.
go on.
I just want to quickly go back to the lens portion of the program. Is it difficult for some people to identify where they are right now and then realize that they have to do certain things to get to where they want to be? Do you help them clearly see, okay, I'm here and I want to do this, but to do that, I might need to do a bit of education around budgeting, for instance. Do you help them with all of those things in those first two steps, Christine?
So we go through, I think that we know what we need to do, but often people are scared to
Yes.
take steps. So I've got mindset
Yep.
processes that are integrated into this course. And so
Yep.
look at where you want to get to. And I think we know what we want to do, but often we're held back by
Yep.
fear. I'm not good enough. We tell ourselves stories in our head. So I don't think it's
Yes.
about learning a new skill. It's about taking off those blinkers or removing the things that are in our way. And I think everybody that I've ever done a mindset process with, they've always come away like, oh wow, they know exactly the next steps to take. We all know it.
So it's the lens. So it's effectively the lens. You want to take away their current lens so they can see that distant vision. Yeah?
Yeah. I think we get distracted with, trying to do all these things. We try and juggle
Yeah.
everything instead of just seeing clearly where we want to get to. So I don't think I
Yeah.
can help them with budget. I mean, that's the first thing that I ever do
Yes.
if I'm going to undertake something, I do a return on investment. Because my
Yep.
master's of business administration was in science and engineering. So that's basically my background. I can do a back of the envelope return on investment. So I can definitely help them with that. But mostly it's
Yes.
about hold ourselves back just because we're
Yes.
afraid. We're afraid of success often. That's one of the biggest
Yes.
things I've heard from women when I've been talking to them, so what are you afraid of? And they go, oh, what if I'm successful? What if I get all these clients and I can't
Yes.
handle it? Or what if this? What if?
Yes.
And it's funny that you might think, oh, they're afraid of failure, but they're more afraid of success. And what?
Success. Isn't that interesting, Christine? I too talk to lots of women, and I know that was a bit of a thing for me. That fear of success. People will see me succeed and then try and bring me down was what was going through my head, and that's
Mm,
a bit of that Australian tall poppy syndrome. That gosh, I don't want to get too big for my boots, or I don't want to be too successful because there'll be people to drag me down. But it- it- you work through that, don't you? Like at some point you go, no, this is the success that I deserve. This is what I've worked through, and this is mine. And I'm not going to, like, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to revel in it. It's going to be okay. And that sentence you just said around worrying about, oh, I'm going to have too many clients. Like, what a fabulous thing to problem to have, number one. And number two, if you've got that many clients, then you'll get people to help you. So there's always a positive spin on those things that hold you back. It's usually just taking the action, first steps, isn't it, Christine?
yeah, it's looking out to where you want to get to and then coming back. So with the mindset process, we come back and ask ourselves, what's the next step that you need to take? So we don't need to get overwhelmed by the outcome.
Yes.
But that's where we're going, but we come back to the next step. And I
Yeah.
think I heard somebody say this weekend that we often worry about problems that are not real. The problem, like we make them up.
Yes.
How's it going to be when
Yes.
we? How's it going to be in the future? And so we're holding ourselves back with a current worry that's not going to be there when we
Yep.
get to the future, because it
That's
might
right.
be now we don't have any clients, but in the future we might have 10 or 20. But by
Yes.
that time,
Yes.
you would have figured it out. You would have figured out how you're going to
Exactly.
do it, how you're going to work with it.
Exactly.
You might get a virtual assistant to help you. But so we've
Yeah.
held us back. Oh, what's going to happen if I'm successful? Auntie Mabel over the back fence won't. She'll say things about me. But people will
So,
be attracted to you by your success.
yes.
People,
And you will find, sorry, Christine,
look on.
you will find that as you get that success, the people that hang around you will hold you, support you, and encourage you on that journey. So the people that you're necessarily hanging around with now may not stay around once you start to get success, because you change, your mindset changes, and that's a wonderful thing for you, and a wonderful thing for the universe and humanity, because the more of us that strive and succeed, the better the world will be. We will live in a magic place if we have more people embracing their passion, finding their purpose, and solving problems, issues, and things across humanity. We live in a better world, don't we, Christine?
Yeah, so I'm an example, perfect example of,
Yeah.
spending time with the people to support me. So it might be even that, if you're held back by the people around you, that you need to look at those people and spend less time with them. So I actually looked around at the people I was spending my time with, and they're all, oh, got no money. That's not where I want to be.
Yep.
So I actually mentally, consciously said, where can I spend time
Decision.
with people who are active, who are proactive, and that's when I joined in
Yeah.
politics. And I thought it was
Yes.
rubbish. I thought that saying was rubbish until I looked at, went, okay, I'll spend time with these people. They must be doing stuff, right? So I joined
Yes.
up, spent more time with them, and I got elected to council. So it's a perfect example.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
I didn't join with those people expecting to get elected to council. I joined and spent more time with them because I wanted to be with people who were positive and,
Yes.
busy, not the
Yes.
people. oh, poor me, poor me. So it might be that you need to look around at the people and find people who are doing what you want to do, like me. You know,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
successful in business, then come and have a chat to me, because I've mapped out those steps and I'm in that fishbowl, if you like. And if you think about,
Absolutely.
like, I wondered why I got elected to council when I was hanging around with political people. And if you think about it, it's like
Yeah.
swimming in a school of fish. That's where I was
Yes.
going towards. And on weekends, what are we doing? We're out campaigning. We're talking about how to get elected. We're talking about, filling it, but you're talking the language. So if you're talking the language of success, then you'll get success.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's incredibly powerful to and those first two steps of your program, Christine, where you help people to get that clarity and then send them off to seek out more of what they want, then the energy of all of those processes propels you forward, doesn't
It,
it? And
it,
people might be listening to us going, "Oh, there's no way." We're telling you this is what happens. All you have to do is take a step in the right direction. And the other thing, and Christine will agree with me here, that you need people to help you on that journey. Don't think that you can do it alone, because as soon as you start to partner with people, and if you were to take on Christine's program, you're getting an expert to help you from the get-go. And you might not always need Christine, but in the initial stages, when you're learning and growing and getting that passion mapped out and seeing the vision you want in the future, you need someone to help you, and you need someone with experience, understanding, and who is already passionate and positive to get you on that journey. That's the difference, people, isn't it, Christine?
yeah, exactly. So somebody said this weekend, I said, if it was just about information, there's so much information out there, we'd all be
Yes.
millionaires. We'd all be doing it. But it's not that simple. You need other people around you. You need a mentor. So for me, I've done course after course. I've done coaching, marketing. Um, I've done I've done heaps of courses. I've done digital
Lots of stuff.
courses. So many
Yep.
courses. I've coursed out. So
Yep.
mindset courses. But it's about finding the right person who's the right person with. You've got to get your mindset right and your strategy
Yep.
and bring them together to actually make it happen. You can have great mindset, but if you don't take action, it's not going to happen. You can have the great
Yep.
strategy, but if you don't have the right mindset about it, then it's not going to happen. It's like just pieces falling apart. So I've mapped out the strategy
Absolutely.
and the mindset to bring people to get them to where they need to get to. So that's what I found. I've done so many courses. I was saying before, it's like, I've tried them all out for you people. So it's like trying all the ice
Yes.
cream flavors, and I'll tell you what they're all like. So tried so many different things, but it's not until you find the right person with the strategy and the mindset. So
Yes.
it really needs to come
Yes.
together.
Absolutely. The next step in your course is the step into innocence. What does that mean?
So stepping into innocence is, how children play and they make things up
Hmm.
and they create things. So we've forgotten how to create. We stay in the same rut doing
Oh,
this.
yes.
So you need to be creative. You need to think about
Yeah.
how you're going to get there. If you keep doing the same things and you forget how to be creative, how to play, then you won't get to the next step. So you need to be able to step out of this mindset. You need to be able to
Yep.
be imaginative on how you're going to make this happen. Because if you think
Yep.
about it, Einstein said, you can't fix a problem with the same mindset that created it. You need a new mindset.
That's
You need
right.
to be creative. So it's about stepping into innocence is a mindset process where we step into innocence and just see the beauty of everything. I mean, with my daughter Imogen, I could have stayed stuck in, being sad. For
Yes.
the listeners that don't know, I think you said she's got a muscle condition. She doesn't walk or
Yes.
talk. She requires 24/7 care. And I
Care.
came to see her not as a burden, but as a beautiful gift. So it's about,
Yeah.
that's about creativity and about stepping out of it and saying, well, this is really beautiful. Like I could be saying, oh, it's pretty sad and I, can't get out and
Yes.
it's hard. But I I went paddleboarding on the weekend because I took the
Yeah.
view that how do I make this happen? I went into my innocence, I went into my creativity and said,
Mm.
okay, this is what I'd like to happen. How do I make it happen? So the process is about finding different ways to make things happen. And you can once you step
Yes.
into your
It's about, for some people, it's about stepping into that idea of what would my life look like if I wasn't held back by anything, if I wasn't scared, if money wasn't an issue, what would my ideal look like? And it's the same about following your passion or idea. What would that look like? And freely writing it down or vision boarding, it's about creating what you think you might want. And it doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be right, because it will change as you grow and change and as your mindset changes. And if you're one of like Christine and I, who have embarked on lifelong learning, so we will never stop learning and seeking knowledge to do things differently and better. And if you look at your life and decide, okay, I want to do XYZ, and then sit down with a big blank piece of paper and go, so this is what XYZ looks like for me. Isn't that a great start to unburden yourself of the fear about anything that you might want to create? And your step 3 of stepping into innocence is almost like stepping into a childlike imaginative process where you figure out what this big vision, what this big passion, what this big purpose looks like for you.
we
And
often
Christine, in this,
we often
sorry,
hold we often hold ourselves back by our limitations. So,
yeah,
for example, for myself, even thinking about somebody said, well, how much holidays do you want to have a year? And I'm like, oh, holidays. Oh no, I can't have any more than, oh no, I can't get away for a week. But if you step into your innocence and throw it all off,
yes,
what if you could have 6 months holiday and only work for 6 months? What would that look
yep,
like? And why not? There's no point sitting here going, oh, those people that only work 6 months of the year and they're having a great life and I can't, because you can too. It's about
you
saying,
can.
what would that look like? How can I do that? So we have these
I actually,
bricks on our
we're
heads.
constrained. We're constrained. I actually read a really wonderful book by Tim Ferriss. It was probably 18 months ago now, but it's called The 4 Hour Work Week. And he challenges our concepts of what we think we need. So it was around, so you want an exotic holiday twice a year. What does what is it really about that exotic holiday that lights you up? And it was about examining the core things about that exotic holiday and realizing that it's actually just about taking you out of the everyday in a space where you can relax, turn off technology, and just be one with nature. And it started me to think about the alternatives of what we have set in our brains and think, well, actually, I can accomplish that week-long exotic holiday by going camping outside of school holidays on a beach somewhere. It's about challenging what we think we need and thinking in different ways. And so you absolutely can create whatever you want. And if you only want to work 6 months of the year, what does that look like for you? What does that mean in terms of how you do things, how you react in the world, and how you plan things? And as you start to get into that space, it's amazing what happens, isn't it, Christine?
Creativity, yeah, creation, the magic of creativity. So even challenging, you might think that you like an exotic holiday every year to, I
Yeah,
don't know, with elephants. And you go,
yeah,
oh, well, it's so expensive. I can't even afford that. But you don't know until you actually challenge that thought, how that might look. It
That's
might,
right.
after all, you might be able to stay in exotic places for not much money. Like, it's about challenging those
Yes.
thoughts. And I've got a friend
Yeah.
of mine who works in big corporate. He's always worked in big corporate, and he does only work
Yes.
6 months of the year. And he says, "No, I'm only
Yeah.
working 6 months of the year." And they pay him. And they go, "Oh, okay." So they pay him for that. And he goes, "No, I'm only working for 6 months and I want to get paid more." And they pay him. So sometimes we get
Yes.
our blinkers on saying, "This is
Yes.
all I can ask for." He's gone and just asked for it and he gets it. So,
And got it. Yeah.
I mean, the answer might be no. So what? So what?
There'll be another answer, won't there, Christine? There's always an alternative. There's always something that will give you that bigger, grander vision. You don't know what you don't know, effectively, isn't it? So you
Well,
don't know what's out there until you put it out there.
this guy's in big corporate. Like, you think
Yeah.
corporate, running on the treadmill 9 to 5, for 40 years of your life or whatever, and then you fall over dead.
Yeah.
He's in corporate going, "No, I'm only working 6 months of the year," and he travels around,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
it's challenging,
Absolutely.
stepping into your innocence and throwing everything off, throwing it all up in the air,
And
and
seeing what
yeah, what you
I know
want.
too, Christine. On the weekend, I was watching another documentary on Netflix, and it was about a girl who decided that she wanted to live a certain life. Again, this bigger vision, create jewelry that was uniquely beautiful, but she wanted to live in a very isolated, unique space. And so that was her dream. And it took her, I think, about 5 years, but that's exactly what she created. She worked out a way that they could make their jewelry manufactured on site in this rural, middle of nowhere place. And then they worked out the shipping details and how that would work. So it's it's about the action that you take that challenges your current thought patterns, that opens you up to amazing things. And that leads us to the fourth step of your process, which is the land of plenty.
Yeah, the land of plenty. So that's stepping into everything that's available to you. And if you close
Yeah.
yourself off, then you don't see all the things that are available for you. And that's where we look at. So in the first instance, we think about where we want to get to. And then, coming up to week 4, we're looking at the land of plenty,
Yes.
looking at the gifts, and looking at, is there anything else out there for you? Don't think that you could just have to create this one thing. Is it, what else is out there for you? What is available for you?
Exactly.
Amazing. I've
Yeah.
been with William Whitecloud and Chris Duncan and looking at
Yeah.
creating technology. And I'm a scientist, my background's science, but the more that I
Yeah.
see this, being creative and the energy that's created, the more I believe in this, energy forces, creativity, and
Yes.
how much, we box ourselves in, and if we can throw that off, the things that become available to us, the things that we can, like you said, talking about living that
Yes.
life. Like, again,
Yeah.
I say, imagine, who would have thought? Like, I clearly remember going to the sailing club and thinking, "Oh, this is great." Oh, but I couldn't do that. I pulled myself back, and then
Yeah.
I went, "Wait a minute, what would that look like? How can I create this to happen?" And now I've become a member, and I go to the sailing club most weeks. Before COVID, I was, twice a week. So
Yes.
I was able to map out, to think about, how can I make this happen, rather than telling myself that I couldn't do it. If I told myself I couldn't
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it happen.
And I actually, like, I so agree with you on this, Christine. I know years ago when I thought that I wanted to write a book, and that book was mulling around in my head for many, many years. And it wasn't until I made a decision and said, right, I'm going to write this book. I don't know how to write a book. I don't know anything about book writing. I don't know anything about publishing. But as soon as I made that decision that this year was the year I was going to write the book, everything happened. I got connected to people who knew about writing books and who knew about publishing and who knew about educating and who were willing to teach and help me do that process. And so in that first step of taking action, that resulted in a book and a memoir being produced. And then, as you said, then comes that land of plenty. And had you told me when I wrote the book that I would be doing live streaming media and helping present people to the world, I would have laughed at you, because I was that person who was too scared to pick up a phone and call someone I didn't know. And
I don't believe that now.
now, so I wanted to sort of encourage people. You don't know what's going to happen when you take that first step. And if you want someone to help you, and again, that's the other point, you need to partner with someone who knows what a little bit about what they're doing and what you want to do to help you on the way. So, and I've continued on that process in surrounding myself with people who help me along the way, who educate me, and with whom I shared knowledge, and you can create amazing things. So I started out with one little audio streaming show. This week, and in previous weeks, this week I've got 4 live streaming shows. I've had up to 8 live streaming shows in any one week, and it's such a blessing. It lights me up to embrace other people's passions and to talk about what other people are doing in business or outside of business. And I get to interview amazing people. Now, none of that would have happened if I just said, "Oh, I don't know how to write a book. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start," and kept myself small. But all I had to do was say, in 2018, I'm going to write a book. And I posted on Facebook and said, I'm going to write a book. There was no definition around that. There was no, it's going to look like this. I didn't know any of that. I just put a post up, I'm going to write a book. And then all these things happened. So what I'm trying to encourage the listeners to do today is, Christine, like I had a whole team to help me write a book, Christine has a whole program to discover your passion, discover your purpose, find out what you value most in life, and lead you on a journey to help you get to that bigger vision. And we're telling you that it's possible. We've done it, and thousands of other people have done it too. Yeah?
Yeah, and I was
So
going to
Christine,
say you probably
go
don't
on, sorry.
you don't do it on your own. Like you have people assistants to help you as well. Like it's
Yes, absolutely.
on your own. You need, you get to a point, but then you need other people, virtual assistants
Yes,
or personal
yes,
assistants or copywriters or whatever it is. But those
yes,
people also appear once you make the decision that it's
yes,
possible, or once you make the decision that there's something else out there for you. If you play
yeah.
small, oh, I can't do it. But once you made, like, you didn't even know the title or anything of the book. You just
No, nothing, nothing.
everything else kind of came to you. And it's the same with
It
me,
does.
elected to council. I just wanted to find people that were doing stuff and got elected to council. So once
Exactly.
you make decisions to put your focus on something that might be intangible, that's where you put your energy, and that's what this work is about. Where you put your energy is where you end up.
Absolutely.
Put your energy into your limiting beliefs, and you let yourself get weighed down by the things that you can't do.
Yes.
That's where your energy goes. That's where you end up in not creating. But when you put your energy into, I keep going like this because it is like this. It's
I
like,
know, because it is like that. Yeah.
it's
And
like,
just so people know, Christine was a carer. I was a nurse.
mm,
Can you see what you can create? Like those things, Christine was a carer, and I was a nurse, but look what we've been able to create because we took that action and those steps. And so, Christine, the next part of your course is around anchoring and bringing it all together.
I just want to
That's
say,
the
I'm,
fifth.
I'm still a carer. I'm still a full-time carer. This is what I'm
Yes,
doing
yes, yes, yes.
around. So, if you think you've got limitations, Imogen requires 24/7 care. She's nil by
She
mouth.
does.
You, I'm still a carer and I'm still creating this, but my vision now is that Imogen has carers around her to support her, and I'm,
Yeah.
overseeing. That's my vision. So, it's about
Yes.
creating your vision. If you're a full-time carer, maybe you've got disabilities, or maybe you're caring for someone with an illness. It is possible.
Yeah.
I had this vision of having just starting, being here and
Yes.
just doing it, like Imogen sort of in the background, and I'm using technology, but now my vision is bigger.
Yes.
Now I've created a
Yes.
vision to have more carers, and they're all good carers. This is my vision. So
Yes.
possible, if you're listening, to, I don't know what your limitation is, or maybe you don't have any, or maybe you do
Yeah.
have, they're all in your head. Maybe it's depression, anxiety, even. I've gone through
Yeah.
those as well. It's possible to create and to put your focus not into your depression and your anxiety, but to where you want to get to. Because I
Yeah.
suffered with depression. When I found out there was something wrong with Imogen, I get that. I get how dark it can be and lonely.
Yes.
I made decisions, and some days, all I could do is get the rubbish bin to the curb. That was a big thing to do.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
decided to get help. I decided to see. I decided, and I got help to get over that. So maybe you're suffering. You
Yeah.
need to take it by the horns, get somebody to
Yes.
the side, and to get there. So week 5 is about anchoring. Is about anchoring that vision so that you keep working towards it. So that you keep,
Yes.
keep it in your mind, and that you keep that inspiration going. So the last week, it doesn't have to be the last week that you work with me. So this is the group program, but it is possible to work
Yes.
one-on-one if that's what you're looking for, to keep you accountable. So each week I keep you accountable. There's homework. There'll be homework for these women or people that want to do it.
Yes.
The
Yes.
homework
Absolutely.
is what gets you there. So I keep them accountable, give them the steps, and make sure they're taking them so they're like catapulted forward. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I know. And the thing is about doing it in a group process is you're not doing it alone. So you wouldn't have been doing it alone if you're working one on one with Christine anyway. But by being in a group, there's something about a group of people focused on achieving a single goal that will keep you motivated. And it's just 5 weeks, isn't it, Christine? It's
Yeah.
just 5 weeks of group work. And Christine, who are you looking for to join into this group?
So I'm looking for women who are motivated, energetic, committed to taking action. So women that want to take their business to 6 figures this year. So they might
Yeah,
be life coaches, they might be naturopaths or
yeah,
energetic hypnotherapists. So I'm looking for women
yes,
who are action takers, because I'm an action taker,
yes,
share the energy. And look, everybody that I've worked with has overcome those barriers. I've had people who I've spoken to, not just women, men as well, who start off,
yeah,
oh, I'm so tired and overwhelmed, and that's because they're giving away their gifts. And I've taken them
yeah,
to charge $1,000 a session, and they light up. And are able to overcome those things, light up, and rejuvenate their energy. They're lit.
yes,
So that's where I got ignite your passion. Light it up.
yes, yes, absolutely. And I think with a lot of people out there listening today who might have had a pretty ordinary 2020, if that's not shown you that there should be more to life in 2021, then I don't know what's going to show you that life is to be lived. It's short. And if you're not going to do something now, when? When are you going to take that action? When are you going to grab hold of that passion and take it to the next level? And Christine, I want you to tell our listeners today how they can connect with you, how they can jump on this group sessions, and what will be involved.
So they can get me on Facebook. So it's Christine Stow, on Facebook, but also they can email me, christine@christinestow.com.au, and I'm happy to
Yeah.
have a chat with them. So I'm not sure if I sent you the Calendly link, but I'm happy for them to book a time for a quick
Yes,
chat.
I was just going to say, if you missed any of this, or you're driving whilst listening to this, you can either go to christinestow.com or radiotoni.com. And if you look under the co-host, you'll see Christine, and you will see all the links. So the link to Christine's calendar, the link to the courses, and the link to anything else that we've talked about in this series of programs. But quickly back to the group training, Christine, let's delve a little bit more into that.
So so it starts next Monday night at 8 p.m. And so it's for women
Yep.
who want to build their business. So they might be just starting off, but it's for those who want to take take it to the next step. And I'll be helping them
Yeah.
to map out the steps, get the mindset right, but also the strategy, making sure that the strategy
Yes.
gets where they want to get to. Because like I was saying earlier, if they're out of alignment, they don't want to be working with people who are not action takers, or they don't want to be working with people
Yes.
who just cost them money, or just painful, like
Yes.
they don't get results.
Yes.
Or so I'm about people who are getting results. I want to get results from people because it lights me up. It lights
Yes.
me.
Yes.
The action begets
And
action.
Christine,
Energy begets energy.
you'll be giving them the steps to take, a little bit of homework, but again, it's only for 5 weeks. Like, seriously, it's not much of a time investment. It's once a week via Zoom. Is that correct, Christine?
Yep, via Zoom. Yep, and then also be a Facebook
Yeah.
group, other group.
Yep. Excellent. So, Christine, do you want to tell everyone your special on this course, because you're just launching this as we're speaking?
Yeah, so it's $495 Australian. So I think I worked out
Yep.
that's about $350 US.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. That sounds about right.
only until midnight Tuesday night. So midnight, it'll be going up to $695 Australian. So that's I think
Okay. Yes.
575 US dollars. So it's not a lot of money to catapult your business to
For 5 weeks training with Christine, who has that huge amount of experience and life understanding about what it takes to get to the next level. So for anyone listening, again, if you missed that, jump on to christinestow.com or radiotoni.com, and look for the co-host tab, and you'll find Christine's information and all her links that are clickable. If you're listening live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitch, Payo will put those details directly into the chat right now as we're speaking about it. But this special, Christine, is only on until, say that again,
midnight tomorrow night. So midnight January the 26th. And then I'll be
and
going up.
then it goes up. Yeah, because this is a complete course with one-on-one group information from Christine, plus worksheets, homeworks, etc., to get you where you want to go or headed in the right direction in 5 weeks. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say, talking about taking small steps. I set up a holiday
Yeah.
program in 2004 that's now $1 million turnover business. So I can get you
Yeah. See?
starting from here, and it's still been running for that long, and it's now $1 million turnover. They've expanded and expanded. So I've taken the steps before, so I can show you how to do it.
So there you go, people. So you're not just listening to someone who is your run of the mill coach. Christine has done that. She has created this success and she has the results. So once again, Christine, tell them all about the course before we run out of time.
So it's in Ignition Circle. It's 5 weeks where we'll take you through stepping into innocence, your land of plenty, map out your lenses, and get your business to 6 figures if that's where you're heading. But only for action takers.
Yeah, just going to say, now you've got to be prepared to listen to Christine, take the actions that she suggests, and make a difference right now and in the next 5 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And on that note, amazing people, we are completely out of time. Just a reminder, if you've forgotten any of the information or you didn't capture it, jump on to christinestow.com.au
Yeah.
or just .com. Yep.
.au.
Or .au. So christinestow.com.au or radiotoni.com. All the links are there. If you're listening live, Paya will have put those links in the chat of the live stream. And that, my friends, is unfortunately the final show with the gorgeous Christine Stow and Ignite Your Passion. Please jump on and connect with Christine, even if you've just got some questions and need some answers, you want some more information about her amazing course launching next week, and take advantage of that one-off offer for the next 24 hours. So, Christine, thank you so much for coming on Radio Toni.
It's been great. I've loved it. Absolutely loved it.
As I said, it's been my Monday wonderfulness that takes me through the rest of the week, having Christine on the show on Mondays. It's been awesome. Thank you so much. That, my listeners, is all we have for this week. Don't forget to connect with Christine, christinestow.com.au, and I will be back again on Thursday with some more everyday business for listeners. Thank you so much, Christine.
It's been great. All right. You have
Over to you, TJ. Bye for now.